Hey everybody, thanks for watching. So we're departing Johnston Regional. It's the KJNX. It's in Smithfield, North Carolina. We're in the Cessna 172. This is the old Gear, as you can see, and it is a windy day here today. It's very windy. We're going to get blown all over the place, I'm sure. But this is the 172 that you can get with the premium or the deluxe package of the flight simulator. And it has a WB Sim enhancement, which brings it up to what they call near study level. I am recording with the GeForce experience, so this will be the first time since I never really used it. When I flew virtual, I always had it uninstalled actually, but I installed it because I wanted that as well as the frame rate, which is up in the upper right corner, and we're averaging right now about 44-45 frames per second, and everything is on ultra all the way across the board in my sim. So I'm trying to see how this recording does. I have now tried recording with OBS app as well as the Windows built-in screen capture. And now I'm using the NVIDIA, which in my first quick test showed that this is actually the highest resolution recording that I can make of the screen. As long as it plays smooth, then we'll be okay. Man, getting blown all over the place here. We're just gonna fly a real extended pattern. Again, really just to keep the frame rate running to see if it keeps roughly the same frame rate through the entire flight, and how the recording works out. So some of you might watch it, some of you won't. Maybe you'll fast forward, maybe you'll watch the first 45 seconds and you won't hear this because you're already gone. I'm also using my Dave & Clark General Aviation headset, and that's the microphone that I'm recording on right now, so I'll be curious to see how that sounds as well. It is neat to have the capability to use the actual headset that I use in the plane for training. It's my own headset, but it's nice to be able to also use it here. Let me set this 1200. I should have set this before I took off, but again, I'm concentrating on so many things to get the sim flying right and recording right that I'm not going through the entire process of the startup checks and everything. Not yet, but I will be once I know everything is in place where it needs to be for me to get the most out of this. So it is a really nice area here. I hope that I can find a CFI that operates out of this airport, because I'm going to be so very familiar with it, and it is literally 15 minutes from my house, so it would really be an ideal place to take my lessons. But if not, if there's someone else at one of the other local airports, then I'll start practicing there. Set my heading bug here so I can keep track of my turns for my pattern. Yeah, I want to start definitely practicing maneuvers more, my standard rate turns, make sure I keep my altitude within the prescribed limits of the ACS That's AMN certification standards. It's what the examiner uses, both the written exam and the check ride practical exam. Not written, oral exam. Oral exam. There's a written exam when you pursue your private pilot's license. There's a written exam. You only have to score 70%, but you should shoot for higher, obviously. And that exam is good for 2 years after you take it, 24 calendar months. And then within that time period, once you get all the sign-offs and the endorsements from your instructor, then the actual final exam is in 2 parts. There's an oral portion of it. It takes about an hour, I think, an hour and a half with some examiners. And then after that, you have a check ride. And the check ride includes cross-country planning, standard maneuvers such as S-turns, turns around a point, rectangular patterns, stall avoidance, stall recovery, and so forth. There's some videos you can find online. Personally, when I get to the point of doing lessons, I'm really hoping that I'll have an instructor that might let me record some of it, just to have the camera running in the background, just for one, to be able to review, but two, just to have in comparison with something like this. This area is still pretty choppy, and from the direction it's coming, when we turn, we're probably gonna notice a change. We make our next heading change, which will be to, we'll go to a heading of 210. Nice looking area. Now it seems to me that there was something in the GeForce experience that I've never been able to take advantage of when I was flying VR, but it has something to do with color filters, I think, or something that allowed you to change some of the shading and so forth. I'm going to have to look for that. I am flying right now, if I hadn't mentioned it, with live weather and real time. So this is the time and weather right now here in North Carolina. I'm located, as I said, about 15 minutes away from the airport, so this is pretty much the weather I'm having. If I look out my window, well, let's look out this window. It's a much nicer view. This should make a very interesting landing. Remember to do, I forgot to set my barometer, but I also didn't listen to ATIS, and I didn't start on the ramp. I started on the numbers for this flight. It'd be different if I start at ramp 8. That's what I consider my ramp at this airport. I rent ramp 8. That's where I tie down this plane. The beautiful 172S. I also don't have flight or flight tracking running right now on this. The screen kind of went darker for a second there. I wonder if there's a dynamic lighting on the monitor. gosh, I love flying. If you haven't guessed already by the 1,000 videos on my channel. But I really, really love having this new cockpit setup. Physical yoke, the trim wheel, which is, I mean, for $36 to add a trim wheel, of course, you do have to get the other portion, the 172 TM throttle control. TM meaning throttle mixture. They also have a TPM, which I will get at some point when I move up to a complex aircraft. But it's really neat. It makes it feel so authentic. But if I'm gonna take a biplane out, or if I'm gonna take something like my GB Special through the cities of New York, the streets of New York City, I should say, I think I still would do that VR. Maybe some of the helicopter flying too. In a World War II aircraft, I think I would still do VR. But I do plan on visiting a lot of the areas that I visited previously in VR, just to see it now at high definition like this. Will really be quite enjoyable. Okay, so we're not quite on course. Well, you can see the heading and the track aren't quite the same. We're dealing with some serious wind here. Anyway, speed is indicated airspeed needle is all over the place. So is the aircraft. That'll be neat once in the aircraft to actually feel some of this. Probably should start descending. Kind of go, because I was already on this track away. I'm going to kind of go a little bit further with it and then come back and do a right hand downwind. Well, actually at that point it won't be much of a downwind, it'll be a right base really. Right base. Yeah, well, I'll be on base turn right to final, so we're already past the airport. It's behind us now. So, but that wind is just crazy. I sure hope this recording comes out. It's kind of a bugger, you know, to fly a flight like this, 17, 18, 20 minutes, whatever it'll end up being, recording narration as you're going along, and then find out that it didn't get turned on, so you didn't record something. Used to happen a lot with the Quest and VR. I'd fly an unbelievable flight and then realize that my microphone didn't pick up my voice, and for some reason the recording didn't pick up the airplane sounds, so it's just a silent film. Not quite as much fun. So yeah, so you can see we're looking at about 11 o'clock from this position of the runway. So we're gonna turn. It'll be a short final. We're gonna turn this way. Yeah, and then we're gonna do a right turn to final. Definitely gotta get my speed down here. You know, man. I got the throttle down too. I guess I should be down lower, maybe 14, but with this wind, I lose too much power. It's gonna be able to blow me around a lot more. So I'm gonna keep the power up until I'm actually more online. Okay, so there's a runway up here. Oopsie daisy. Yeah, until I don't think I get. Oh, I got to change the radio. That's all. All right. Okay. Well, if I had the radio set, I would grab the glide slope, but that's okay. We got lights. We got lights. All white. You're all right. So we got, I think, according to the chart supplement, I believe that we're looking at different lights here. We got, I think, Vassy on one end and Pappy on the other, I believe. Some speed down here, but we're doing okay. Just don't want to lose speed too soon with this kind of wind. Alright. Alright. Okay, we should be able to do this now. It's down. Alright. Now we'll drop here. Alright. Here we go. Yeah. See, and then of course once you get below the tree level, all that wind, a lot of it drops away. Here we go. See now how smooth it got as soon as I got down below the trees. Okay, still a little fast, but not too bad. I'm happy with it. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that landing for sure. Let's I think we can stop in time to get off the taxiway here. Hey, that was an awesome flight. Yeah, so okay, we're looking at 39 frames per second, 40. I don't think it ever really dropped much below that, maybe a little bit, but overall, I'm thinking it's performed pretty good. So I would recommend definitely the Odyssey G5 monitor from Samsung, the 9er USB peripheral for your general aviation headset, and the Gear-Falcon controls. Awesome stuff.